Good morning, Raptors Freak Alexios here on a Saturday morning. It's Saturday Share the Love Club. And today's subject for Share the Love Club is a little bit different than normal. Somebody that I didn't think I'd ever do a Share the Love Club for. Because to tell you the truth, for many years, I've become more disenchanted with the NBA over the years during the 2010s. That I didn't really enjoy watching it. Other than the LeBronto stuff and the Raptors getting beat by LeBron in the playoffs, that wasn't fun. There really was a feeling that there were the haves and the have-nots in the league, that there were certain markets that are just favored, certain markets that are just obviously they're put on TV and put on blast more, like Boston and the Lakers. And then there's small market teams like Toronto. They're not really a small market team. Minnesota, Milwaukee, teams like that. Well, I have more faith in Adam Silver in the NBA all of a sudden now because I'm starting to see more about the inner workings, about how the whole kit and caboodle runs. And he really is somebody that wants to make this sport more international. So if he feels that way, there's no reason for him to be against the Raptors. I may have been very wrong in the past, and I have to apologize that I thought that he was kind of doing things against Toronto because we're in Canada. I don't think that's true anymore. In fact, I don't think it's the NBA that's causing the problems for the Raptors. I think it's more the broadcasters in the US. I think it's more the fans and the people talking about perceptions about Canada that are similar to Chris Bouchard. And it's just pure ignorance. But this does shape how the Raptors are treated because the broadcasters control the schedule and they control what is said by their personalities and people on their channels, like Jalen Rose and people like that on ESPN. So I'm starting to kind of compartmentalize a way the NBA head office and the way they run the NBA away from the media, ABC, ESPN, media conglomerate, TNT that covers the Raptors. And that may be where the problem is. Because listen, the schedule came out this week and the schedule is favorable to the Raptors. You know, there's other things that point to it. Like the more I delve into my ref report research that I've been doing for months, y'all, I'm going to tell you that right now. I've been studying the ref stuff. The more I'm finding that they are actually very fair on the whole. It feels like they're not fair to us, people like Tony Brothers and Ed Malloy. But you know what? It's just like how they make the schedule. They want to screw everybody over. So if everybody hates the refs, then that means they're doing it equally. So I'm starting to change my perception of the league. And this is really good because I really felt like it was crooked. I felt like the league was crooked for a long time, partly because of Tim Donaghy, partly because of, really shady shit with the referees and stuff like that. But the more I do research, the more I'm realizing these guys are actually on the level. And they're probably over scrutinized to be fair. That means that they really are fair because they really do have things in place to keep track of whether the referees are fair or not. So let's get into Adam Silver. I have so much to say about him, but first, let me do the comments with Monique has something really important to talk about right here. First of all, good morning, Monique. Thank you for coming in and dropping in a few early comments. Dylan Harper has made it clear Rutgers Nation to carry the legacy on his Instagram, of course. Yeah, he's going to follow his brother's footsteps and go to Rutgers and be a badass, hopefully. Like, good stuff, Dylan Harper. And I love seeing the Harpers have that kind of a family with the Rutgers University Nation and stuff like that. You know, you're a part of the Raptors Nation now, Rutgers, and we welcome you guys. If you found my channel today, please hit subscribe. I want as many Rutgers fans following the Raptor Freak because I'll keep you up to date with everything going on with Ron Jr. up here in Toronto while he's playing for the Raptors. So if you want the inside and the on-the-ground information about Ron Harper Jr., you are coming to the right place, Rutgers fans. So please keep coming. Monique's saying, why did they call Scotty Barnes' BIPOC scholarship racist? Shaking my fucking head. Some fans, I swear, please explain. He's doing things right. No? Listen, Monique, this is the thing. What Scotty's doing is great. It's absolutely great. And it's not wrong in any kind of way. He is just providing a scholarship for people of color, people that are, been, marginalized at times throughout the history, and they're giving him a leg up, a little bit more of an advantage. Well, this is really a symptom of, in general, equality. What happens when there's one part of society, the white part that feels like, they can oppress the other part. When the other part starts to get more equal, they feel oppressed all of a sudden. And this because it's probably because there's white people and they're like, I want to get on that scholarship, but they find out that they're not qualified for it and they're pissed off about it, and then they're calling it racist. Well, that's messed up because, like, listen, 100 years ago or 50 years ago, or how many more years ago, it's the opposite. All these scholarships were just white people, and they didn't even consider anybody, that the people are being considered for this at this point. This is Scotty's scholarship. It's his choice. He wants to help people that are like him, that came from a tough spot in Palm Beach with nothing and getting a chance to get a new future. And a lot of these people don't need it. That's the problem. They're going to say it's reverse racism, but you know what? In a lot of ways, reverse racism doesn't exist in a society that is already inherently racist towards people that is, built that way. Systemic racism makes their opinion null and void, gotten a chance over the history. So I commend Scotty, and those people are idiots. Those people are the kind of people that can't sit on a bench with a person that's different than them, and they can sit there and be okay with it. These are the people that are like, no, we can't have equality. I have to have people that are lower than me so I can feel better about myself. That's a really big part of it. I'm really sick of people that look like me not getting this. This isn't about being woke. This isn't about any of this stuff. If this is, what? So what? You can't get this scholarship. So what? I can't get this scholarship. Maybe we didn't need that advantage. Maybe we didn't need that help. And that these people just need to get their heads out of their ass and, go about your own business. Go to the school still. Just pay for it yourself. You can do that. You can go to the school still. It's not like you come to the door and they say, no, you can't come in because you're white. It's not like that. You can go to the school still. It's just you have to pay. This scholarship is for people that need the help. And most of the time, if you're white, you don't usually need the help. I won't say that everybody doesn't, but that's what I'll say about this. And I think that this is really important to bring up, Monique, and I'm glad you brought it up. This is the Raptors channel that will talk about this. This is the Raptors content that will talk about this and not put it away and say, I don't want to talk about this. The other channels ain't going to talk about this kind of shit. So that's where I see it in this way. It's like, hey, you want to go to the school? You want to go to Scotty Barnes trade school? Just go and pay. Don't complain that you don't get a scholarship. And that's just how it is. Tom Duke, my good friend Tom Duke, happy Saturday. Tom Duke, I wish I could go to this Pro-Am later today. But you know what? Some stuff happened last night. Yeah, I should have jumped on tickets earlier this week when I saw them in front of me online. And I could have ordered them on Wednesday. Now there's no way I'm getting into that game because I have no tickets for this Pro-Am with Malachi Flynn tonight. And Scotty Barnes is going to be playing in it. It is official. Last night on Twitter, Scotty announced he is going to be playing at the Crossover in Toronto, the Pro-Am tonight here in Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens. And I wish I had gotten tickets. I really messed up because now Scotty is going to be there and he's going to be tearing it up. He said it on Monday. He said, guys, should I go play at the Toronto Pro-Am with Malachi? And we're like, yeah, do it. And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And now he is. He did decide to do it. And I love that he is doing this. This is good for all kinds of reasons. We're getting more highlights of Scotty in Pro-Am action and doing stuff. Hopefully he'll be linking up with Malachi and doing all kinds of cool stuff. Maybe he can post some absurd number tonight, like as far as his stats and stuff like that. The other thing is he's enjoying playing these pickup games all summer, whether it's Rico Hines, Powder League, Fresno, all the different places he's been dropping in and playing basketball, that it's been a really good workout basketball year for the off season. So now he's going to show it off at the hometown crowd for the Toronto Raptors fans in the Maple Leaf Gardens today. So, man, if you're lucky enough to get one of the 900 tickets that are available that you already have, good for you. Because, you did a good thing buying it preemptively, because once he said he was going to play last night around 11 o'clock last night, everything was gone. And I don't even think they had them on sale anymore. They may have already sold out. And I don't know. That's just a gift to whoever had the faith to want to go see Malachi play. Well, you're going to get to see Big Four play also tonight. And that's fantastic. I can't wait to see the highlights. I know there's going to be all kinds of great footage because the Toronto people will come there and film it, and they'll put it up on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. It'll be put on blast. So I'm so glad Scotty's back in town today, and he's going to be playing at the Maple Leaf Gardens in that Toronto Pro-Am with Xavier Moon and Malachi Flynn and other notable players. This is so awesome. Tom Duke's saying Silver was a lawyer, obviously a brilliant man. Love his style and the way he leads the NBA. NBA and NHL are run so much better than the NFL. Well, yeah, I think the NHL's run pretty good at this point. I got to separate the NHL from Team Canada stuff that's going on with hockey and stuff like that. It's very different, stuff like that. But yeah, I did some more research on Adam Silver yesterday, and there's a lot of interesting things about him that I really like about him. Like, listen, David Stern had a real legacy that he had to fulfill and carry on from Larry O'Brien. Larry O'Brien was the commissioner and David Stern was the deputy commissioner. It's a very similar progression of things. It's like O'Brien left, Stern took over, and under Stern's watch in the 80s, the NBA blew up. Like David Stern was a huge mastermind behind Magic and Larry, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, all that kind of stuff, making the game very popular, very lucrative, and very attractive to watch and exciting. And that was a big part of David Stern. Well, Adam Silver was his understudy in the later 2000s. There was Russ Granick before, but he was already older and he had to retire. He would have been the commissioner, but he retired before. And then Adam Silver stepped in. And it's crazy because as soon as Adam Silver stepped in, within a month of the job, he was faced with a situation with Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers, that he had said some racist remarks on a recorded message. And Adam Silver had an important decision to make right at that moment. This was going to set the tone for his commissionership of the NBA for years to come, that he ain't having it. And Donald Sterling was shown the door. He was said, you are stripped and banned from the NBA. This is a super ballsy move by a commissioner who just stepped into power within a month. He said, listen, I want to set the tone. Your racist ass is out of here. We ain't having anything like this because you're a gross person. And you should not be in ownership in the NBA with your views and the way that you act. So he said, get the fucking door, Donald Sterling. And Adam Silver did that. He did that right away. He was brand new on the job. Holy crap, that took some cojones because he's going against the status quo. Donald Sterling was allowed to be in the league forever by David Stern. That was a problem that was always there that he didn't do anything about. It was kind of like, but Adam Silver stepped in. He said, you're out, racist motherfucker. And he did it. And that's, like I said, that took balls. And that kind of really set the tone for how Adam Silver was going to be the NBA commissioner in his tenure. Very woke and very political. And I love it. I love that he's that way because it should be that way. That maybe former commissioners early on in the NBA weren't so woke to African-American issues or different things like racism and things like that. And as time's gone on, that's really good to see the figurehead leader of the NBA being very, very politically savvy. And whether it's like the stuff, what happened with Black Lives Matters, that letting the league go full effect on BLM during that time was risky. It may have lost them a lot of viewers, and it did probably, a lot of racist viewers. But in a way, it's kind of like, you know what? If you don't like us doing Black Lives Matter all over our league all of a sudden, then you have a problem with Black people. And why are you watching the NBA in the first place? If you do, this is kind of a weird relationship. If you're racist, but you still love the NBA, and stuff like that. So Adam Silver wasn't afraid to piss off racists by doing a very political movement within the NBA during that time. And he did. There's a lot of people that said, oh, NBA went woke and they turned it off and stuff like that. Well, there's a lot of people that are idiots that are saying woke goes broke and stuff like that. Really and this is the great thing that was illuminated by Bo of the Fifth Column on his channel this week. He said, when people say woke go broke, what that code is, that is code for is you can't do things that I don't want you to do or I don't like, is basically what it is their judgment of that kind of stuff. And this is what I'm saying. Adam Silver took the gamble. He put it out there, and it was actually a very powerful political force. The NBA has been under Adam Silver's commissionership. And now we see more recently, they're not going to have any games on election day, and they're going to get more emphasis and attention on going out and voting for people. And that's a fantastic thing. That's a really, really important, good thing. I love that our league is a social justice league. And that in the election for Biden, they even did stuff like opened arenas up and made them polling places so that people could easier vote. Like Atlanta specifically, the Hawks building was opened up and allowed a lot of people in Georgia to get in there and vote easier. And I totally commend the NBA for doing this, and I want them to do this again for the midterms. That this could be a huge impact that goes way beyond basketball in the game between the lines. That this is about society, this is about politics, this is about our government. And if the NBA has any kind of impact on the midterm election this fall, that's badass. And I love being a part of that whole big entity that it does care. Whereas we see the NFL being fascist and punishing Colin Kaepernick for making a stand, or doing stupid, really weird things to their players, like fining them for really trivial shit and stuff like that. We are a progressive league, and I love that about it. And it is because Adam Silver leads it that way. So I'm really turning over a new leaf on my opinion about him. I thought he was a bad dude for us, but I really have been wrong. And I really do believe that like he really enjoyed the Raptors winning our championship in 2019. He saw it as being good for the health of the whole league and the whole entire world, as far as bringing interest and fandom and more revenue to the league because the Raptors won. And I think that he's not the person that will hold us back. That it's really the mentality of the United States towards the Raptors that has a problem with us and sullies us and says all this stupid shit in the media down there. And it's the perception of the fans reflected from the way it's projected from the media, saying that we're not worth it. We're not really a real team in the NBA because we're in Canada, and that we aren't a legitimate threat. It's just all reflected in their reporting. So I want to say that now I'm not really, I've been saying for years, I'm not really an NBA fan, but I am a Raptors fan, and I'm a fan of my team within an organization that I don't really like. Well, I'm going to change that. I am an NBA fan again because I believe in this league again. I believe in the way it's going. I believe in the direction it's going. I feel like Adam Silver is making really good decisions, and the league is in good hands right now, that we are going towards a more exciting, more fair, equitable game. That if you asked me like maybe 10 years ago, yeah, it's not really fair in the league. There's haves and have-nots. There's teams that are just always going to compete, and then there's just teams that are set up to fail because of different situations with their market size or just different perceptions around the league and stuff like that. So thank you, Adam Silver, for restoring my faith in the NBA and its fairness. I really do feel like our parity is much better now. That there were a couple years ago in Golden State and Cleveland and Miami were building super teams, and it was just overwhelming and boring. It's like I didn't like the Miami super team. It was boring. It was like this is the same shit. I didn't like Golden State's overpowering of the late 2010s. It was boring. It's like, okay, Golden State's just going to keep winning. It's like, I've said before, the year we won the championship, I wasn't even going to watch that year, because the way we went out in the playoffs with DeMar getting screwed over with some calls in the playoffs, it pissed me off. I was almost ready to not watch the NBA ever again. But things have come full circle. And now I'm a big fan of the NBA again. I believe in its future. I believe in its future because of young players like Scotty Barnes and other young players like Ja Morant and different people like that coming up and keeping the game exciting and carrying that baton of excitement as NBA superstars forward. That the game is in good hands, and that the fact that they're willing to change rules and innovate, whether it's things like the play-in, whether it's like the idea of a mid-season tournament, anything that they're trying out and stuff like that's exciting too, because ultimately they're trying to do this stuff to make the game better. And I think they will. And I think it's going to be more and more exciting. I think that there is more parity. I actually do believe that there are like 10 or 12 NBA teams that could win the championship this year. That there isn't no like Golden State going into the season like, oh, they're just obviously going to repeat or something like that. There's no way we can say that right now with the Warriors. That obviously, oh, they're just going to repeat like those couple of years ago. So I like that. I like parity. I don't like just one team like the old Chicago Bulls is just so dominant and stuff like that. I want all the teams to be competitive and have good games and have good fights to get to that championship and stuff like that. So much to say about Adam Silver. Plus, listen, we just had a pandemic. We had a major crazy world event that was very changing in all kinds of ways. And the NBA sailed their ship through all the craziness really smoothly. Like there could have been all kinds of problems with the pandemic, the bubble, the way that we had to play in Tampa specifically for us, different things like that. And I think Adam Silver did a really good job of getting the season back on track to its normal time, because we were playing in August a couple years ago and stuff like that. That is really a good job by the commissioner, that he took care of things during the pandemic, kept things smooth sailing, and we were on the other side of it, hopefully, for the most part. And that's fantastic, because that couldn't have been easy. You got to give the man kudos for being the commissioner of the NBA through a pandemic, for sure. All right, let me see what else you guys are saying. Evelyn's here. Good morning, Granny Evelyn. Looking so forward to seeing late next week. Tom Duke's saying lots of stars, including LeBron and Tatum, are going to crossover Pro-Am. Come on, Malachi, show them all up. Yeah, they're all going to be in Seattle. The Seattle game's going to be stacked tonight. LeBron, Paulo, Chet, DeJounte and Paulo, Jason Tatum, obviously Crawford's going to be there also. So yeah, that's the one in Seattle tonight. That one's going to be off the chain. In fact, people are camping outside of that arena to try and get there tonight, because LeBron's going to be there. They're going to have that, that little grudge match between DeJounte Murray and Paolo Banchero's there. And then you got people like, Jason Tatum showing up all of a sudden. Crazy. Good morning, Monique. I actually answered your questions earlier. Hopefully you were here for them. If not, watch the beginning of my stream and you'll get my answer about that Scotty Barnes question. It's a really good question, Monique, and I'm glad you asked it. Prophet saying, your show is real, bro. Talk your talk. Thank you, Prophet. Yeah, man. Well, that's the only way I can be, man. That's why they won't ever put me on Sportsnet. They won't ever put me on TSN, because I will tell them the goddamn truth. And they don't want me on there to do that. No. If I go mainstream, you'll know that that's not really me. That's a robot. That's an android they made look like me, because I ain't going to be on any of those big channels. And that's not anything that I aspire to do. I'm trained professionally to do it. I've been on radio and TV and done stuff like that in the past. It's just at this point, nah, you guys need a real voice. People are sick of being like talked to as the children. And it's time to just be real and stuff like that. So, but yeah, today, a lot of political subjects right now. And, this is the thing. Adam Silver is a political NBA commissioner, and I commend him for that. So many other people could be in that job and be like, no, we don't want that kind of attention. No, we can't get involved in Milwaukee and what happened to Jacob Blake. No, we cannot. No, he's not like that. He's like, yes, let's do this. This is really good. And all the racists are like, well, NBA, who's watching that anymore anyway? Well, we are, because it's exciting. There's a lot of good young players coming up, and it is badass. And my team in particular is so much fun to watch, because they are just badasses. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do this season. So yeah, tonight, Scotty Barnes will be at the Pro-Am. It's so fantastic and stuff. Like, if you have a ticket to the Maple Leaf Gardens tonight, you are so lucky. I wanted to go, and I should have got a ticket earlier this week. Should have believed in Scotty Barnes showing up and being there for sure. And he is going to be there, and it's fantastic. The last couple of days, he was in LA for a little bit earlier this week, and I think he dropped in Miami and hung out with his trainer Brian Macon a couple of days ago too. So he's been traveling and jet setting around, hopping around and stuff like that. But he hasn't been on Twitch since Monday and stuff like that. But he's going to be here in Toronto today, playing with Malachi. I love to see some nice lobs from Malachi, setting up Scotty for some really nice alley-oops, shit like that. That'll be so much fun. Monique saying, we need a deep guy like you, Lex. Hey, listen, it's weird, because I just happen to be that combination of different realms of study. I really, really love the Raptors. I really love the NBA, and I've been an NBA fan lifelong. And so I know the sport, but my study in school is sociology and studying society and social problems and deviance and, mortality, fertility. I studied all the different things about sociology, demography, and stats and people and studying society and why it is the way it is. So I come from a learned place, from an actual like schooling. on it and stuff like that. So it's a nice mix of things and stuff like that. So Tom Duke's saying LeBron hasn't been to crossover for 15 years. Doesn't he generally play preseason runs? Lots of secure stars have their own routines, I guess. Loving our boys being active. You know what I think it is, Tom, is that we've had this pandemic and like guys didn't get to do their off-season workouts or the things that they used to like to do. And it's just like when everything opened up in society, you wanted to go out and get back at concerts and going to street festivals and doing all the fun things you enjoyed that you couldn't do during the pandemic. And I think that a lot of these big name stars are like, you know what? This would be fun to go to Rico Hines and run around with all everybody like that and stuff like that. So I think that's what it is that these guys took for granted being able to go to pro-am games and Rico Hines and stuff like that. And now they're like full effect. And it's like everybody, Steph Curry, LeBron James, it doesn't matter how big a star you are in the NBA. You're showing up and you're putting in work. And it could be all kinds of things. It could be that the league is just getting more competitive and all those guys feel the need to continue to keep their edge by playing all summer and doing this kind of stuff. I think it's badass. And it's really great that we have such great basketball content in August. Once again, we shared the love for Rico Hines last week. Man, thank you. And like all week, you've dropped at least one clip each day, and it's been so entertaining to see. In fact, the last one, I watched it yesterday. It's funny because Rico banned somebody from Rico Hines runs on that clip. If you watch it, some dude named Sam wasn't taking the John Wooden court at UCLA seriously and respecting that place because that's real important to them. John Wooden's legacy at UCLA is, oh man, it's immaculate. It's like this is the dude who won lots of NCAA championships with Lou Alcindor with UCLA. He is a legend. He is a basketball legend. And you do not go to UCLA gym and sully or disrespect that league in any kind of way. Well, somebody did. And Rico wasn't having it. And he went off on the guy. He's like, who is this guy coming in here disrespecting this gym? He's like, what's his name? And he said, he can't come back. He said that on the thing. I was like, holy crap. So it is like that. He's like, some of y'all shouldn't even be here. I'm doing y'all a favor. And you come in here and act like this. Is like what he was saying. I was like, holy shit. I was like, Rico's a real one too. And I love that. That's how I can identify with him because he's a real one. He's setting them straight and stuff. But I've seen Rico is on his way to Rwanda, guys. So the next part of the Rico Hines runs happens in Rwanda. He's going over there to run guys like he does in LA over there now. He was on a plane to Istanbul last night. As soon as the Rico Hines in LA ended, he got on a plane. He's going to Rwanda to run some Rico Hines runs over there next week, guys. That's what's going on. So I think that's what is happening with everybody participating this summer. With LeBron, LeBron going to Drew League. Now he's going to crossover. That's a big deal. That is a big deal because once again, we say these are games and places where maybe some people don't get a chance to see these stars, especially in Seattle, because Seattle hasn't had a team for how long now, and they have not gotten any kind of NBA stars. Like, when's the last time LeBron played in Seattle? It's probably been 15, 20 years almost. So that's what I'm saying. So it's stuff like that. Tom's saying it was a raw speech. Rico is a real one. I love Rico Hines so much. And that clip's fun because Baron Davis says a little bit of stuff. Patrick Beverley's very interesting in that piece, like talking about what he has to say and stuff. And I think it's cool. It's like, I really do think that people saw, the Raptors and James Harden at Rico Hines, and they're like, I need to get over there. It's like Steph Curry's like, I need to get over there. And he showed up this week and started running in Rico Hines. Steph Curry. I mean, that's a big deal. That's the finals MVP from last year. And one of the best players in the league, he's at Rico Hines working with our young Raptors like Jeff Doughton and Ron Harper Jr. and Christian Coloco and stuff like that. Because the whole core of the Raptors were there the first week, but then a lot of the guys, the vets, left after the first week. But our 905ers have stayed all 3 weeks. That if you look at any Rico Hines clip, you'll see Jeff Doughton, Ron Harper Jr., and Christian Coloco and Pascal Siakam running around in every single one of them. They've been there the whole time. They didn't take any time off. They're going the 3-week period of Rico Hines. Scotty came in for 1 week, left for a week, came back a little bit on the 3rd week. It's a little bit of bouncing in and out, stuff like that. So let's see. Monique saying, whatever happened to Skip to my Lou? That's right. Lou Williams is in the clip too. And I love seeing Lou. And Lou had a lot of cool things to say too. He's like, listen, I could be in Atlanta enjoying Atlanta stuff. Like, I love the, some of that James Harden life too in Atlanta. Yeah, I have some fun times in the nightclubs, the strip clubs, stuff like that. But no, I knew I need to come to LA and work out with Rico Hines. This is my family. This is my dog. And I'm coming out here to work. And I could be just sitting on my ass in Atlanta, but I want to get in the NBA again this year because he's a free agent. I don't think he's been signed. It's interesting that him and Harrell have been at Rico Hines this month because both of them are free agents and they're trying to play for a team at this point still, and they have not been picked up. Lou Will would be interesting. He said it in the clip. He's like, listen, I've been in this league 17 years. I want 18 or something like that. He said, I don't know exactly the number. He said, I've been in the league for 17 years. I want to get that next year. So he does want to play in the NBA this year. It's just nobody has picked him up yet. But he looks good still. I mean, shit, he can shoot. And he's a bucket. Honestly, that's always been the case for Lou Will. He's kind of one of these guys who's going to be almost 50, like my age, or he'll be even older, and he'll always be a bucket. Like I've seen recent footage of Cuttino Mobley, and that man can still play. It's crazy how good Cuttino Mobley is still. How many years been retired and stuff like that. So really, really interesting. You're just asking about Skip to my Lou, Rafer Alston. I was thinking Lou Williams, but you're right. That's a different person. Skip to my Lou. I don't know what's happened with Rafer Alston. Obviously, he's retired and he's probably not in any kind of playing shape, but maybe he is playing somewhere overseas and I just don't know it. Is he a part of Big Three with JYD and Charles Oakley in them? Maybe that might be where he is. Tom Duke saying Rico and everyone agreed with him. So inspiring and on point. Well, it's his house. He's running the Rico Hines and it's his rules. If you don't listen to Rico, you get the fuck out. It's like, listen, he's saying it. He's like, listen, some of y'all aren't good enough to be here. I'm just doing you a favor. You are lucky to be here. And you really, really need to understand that. And some of them weren't understanding that, I guess. And so Sam's not allowed back at the Rico Hines runs. Sam, whoever, I don't know who it was. He was looking around. He's like, where is he? He's not even here anymore. And he's like, yeah, he's not allowed here anymore, is what he said. Hilarious. Good morning, Geomad. Good to see you, neighbor. Tom Duke saying January 16th, 2007, in a Cavaliers loss to the Sonics. So the last time LeBron played in Seattle was in 2007. That is 15 years ago. Wow. That makes sense. So yeah, LeBron fans in Seattle are lining up and camping outside this morning. Yeah. Monique saying, can't believe Yuta got injured again in Japan. I'm just sad. Again? Denial saying again? Ah, man, that sucks. I mean, I feel bad for Yuta and stuff like that. That just sucks. Well, hopefully it'll be a quick recovery. And we just want good things for our Raptor legend, Yuta Watanabe, and whatever is going to happen with him in the future and going forward, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't like hearing that either, Tom Duke. Tom saying LeBron's young son, Bryce, is projected to be 6'10". And looks like, obviously, we all know Bronny and the dream of them playing together. Maybe it'll be all three of them. Well, Bryce is much younger than Bronny. Bronny's going to be ready in like 2 years. It's kind of coinciding with LeBron's new contract. He signed these 2 years, and he's kind of hoping Bronny will go to school for 2 years. They're saying Oregon's the favorite, but LeBron is saying that there's no favorite and that you will hear from him directly what Bronny's doing. And I think it sounds like because of LeBron's contract that he expects Bronny to do 2 years of university and then come into the NBA. And that is when LeBron will have an option to stay with the Lakers or go somewhere else and try and play with Bronny. Now, Bryce is like 5 years younger, guys. Like, he's only like 12. He's already like, he's like really, really big. So I don't think LeBron will be able to play with Bryce because he's that much younger and he won't be able to be he's too young. He won't be, I don't think LeBron will be playing when Bryce is ready. So that's very interesting, but I'm really intrigued by Bryce. Like, we've seen Bronny do this crazy left hand or dunk that he did in this one game. And everybody's like, holy crap. Cause he isn't that tall. Bronny is like 6'5", 6'6", and he can get up there. And he did like a dunk, just like his dad in a game recently with the highlight, and everybody's going crazy. Well, I really honestly think that Bryce is going to be the bigger prospect, that Bryce is going to be the better NBA player. He's going to be the scary one, specifically because of Tom Duke saying he's projected to be like 6'10". If this kid is taller than LeBron and he can still have the kind of same stuff, there's something weird about him. Let me just put it that way. Like, Bronny has kind of had the whole older brother toughness on his shoulders. And I know how this is, being an older brother and having a younger brother. In some ways, you go through things first. It's a little bit more difficult. But if you are a younger brother and you see your older brother and how their path is, sometimes it's easier for you in some ways because you understand what to expect coming towards you. And that Bryce, in some ways, seems like a little bit more casual, kind of happy go lucky kind of kid. That he's the kind of kid that's kind of a goofy guy who's kind of a prankster, but there's something about him. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to say this now in 2022, and we'll see in like 5 years whether I say is true, that this kid is going to be not going to be as good as his dad, but he's going to be a very good pro. I think that he will be, out of the two brothers, he's going to be the one that really does something, is Bryce. Yeah, I really do believe that. And partly because he's so big, and also partly because he has a weird like attitude and way of himself. I can tell his aura and his energy is very strange compared. Like Bronny doesn't have that kind of energy that Bryce has. There's something about Bryce. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, the sad about Yuta, we don't like that. Monique saying news and notes. Sam Decker said he signed with the London Lightning. Okay, cool. We also heard that in the last day that Isaac Bonga is playing for Bayern Munich in Germany. So Isaac is going to be in Germany playing for his hometown team this year professionally. He did not get picked up by anybody. And obviously we're seeing where Yuta is. Same thing for Isaac. That's just how it goes. It's a business. And this team is a snake that sheds its skin, and new snake skin comes through afterwards. And that's just how it is. It's a business. And that's why we got to understand with people like Yuta, Isaac Bonga, Jalen Harris, and whoever's going to get cut in training camp, that is just the brutality of the business and the toughness. You have to be that good and stuff like that. So, yeah, all kinds of interesting things and stuff happening right now with the Raptors, even though it's the middle of August. Thank goodness I've had stuff to talk about. Okay, Denal wants more Ron Harper Jr. talk. Well, like I said, I'm really glad that he's been at Rico Hines this whole 3 weeks. He's a cool dude, and like you could see that he's listening. That looked like in the last clip that him and Fred had a little bit of good chemistry and stuff like that. Like it's interesting to see the 905 guys, Jeff Doughton and Ron Harper Jr. playing with Fred and Pascal in the lineup, because it really was the beginning of Rico Hines. It was Raptors A, which was the starters, but they actually had Koloko running with the starters. And then they had like a secondary team with Malachi and Chris Boucher. And then they had a third Raptors team, which was Jeff Doughton, Ron Harper Jr., and Jarrett Culver and stuff like that. And seeing them get mixed up and getting them some time running with Fred and Pascal in a unit. It was Fred, Pascal, Christian, and Jeff and Ron. That 5-man unit was very fun to see because we saw new synergy between Ron Harper Jr. and Fred VanVleet. And I like that. I like to see that kind of stuff. Monique has a really interesting comment here. Apparently, the Guelph Nighthawks are leaving the CBL. They're not leaving. They're going to be moved. This happens in the NBA. It's like teams move cities. They're going to Calgary. So Guelph is losing their team in the CBL. They're moving the franchise to Calgary. And this is really good because this spreads more of the teams out. We have a lot of teams clustered in Ontario around Toronto. And this may have been by design all along. That with the early CEBL, they wanted to keep teams closer so that they could have more of easy with management of travel, and maybe just running it from head office is easier if it's closer. And that, they're trying to spread across the whole country, and that Calgary is expanded to now. That Guelph is losing their team, but it's going to Calgary. So it's good. It's good for the whole league. And, Bebe, you're going to be playing for Calgary now if you're still on the Nighthawks. So there you go, Bebe Nagira. G saying Terrence Davis is playing with Malachi tonight. Ooh, TD's coming. Okay, that's who they were talking about. Why is this person playing tonight? Some of the Raptor fans on Twitter were saying, why is this person playing in the crossover Pro-Am in Toronto tonight? And I didn't know why. Who is it? Who are they talking about? Were they talking about Karax? Were they talking about any other player that people that have a problem with? It's Terrence Davis Jr. Yeah, listen, I like Terrence Davis. I think he may have made a mistake. He may have done something wrong. He paid for it. We really, in the court of justice of opinion, the public opinion, we really came down on him. And we really showed the Raptors organization that the fan nation isn't about having an abuser or anybody like that on our team and stuff like that. I think that Terrence is actually a good dude. I think that we've kind of sullied him unfairly. I think that that whole situation, we didn't get all the facts, because he seems like a good character guy. Honestly, I see him in practice. I see him at Rico Hines. I've seen everything about him, and he's a nice dude. I think that what happened was just really out of his character. But I mean, also, I don't want to be an apologist for abusers or anything like that. I don't know for sure. But also, because it seems like everything's fine. That was one little hiccup of trouble for him. That I don't think that this is something that is him. I think this was an aberration in his life. And seriously, if he sees something like what happened to Miles Bridges this summer, if he is living that life, he's getting further away from it. But he would be in more trouble if he really was a bad dude who's really, really abusive. I think that was just an unfortunate situation that got blown out of proportion. But it's funny because people don't even want him to come and play in a pro-am game that has nothing to do with it. Well, he's on the Sacramento Kings. He's going to have to come back to Toronto and play us in the NBA anyway. So listen, I don't side with the abuser, but in this case, I'm not totally sure what is true about Terrence Davis Jr. And I don't want to be one of these people that just like slams him all the time without knowing all the facts. Because if he was a bad person, I don't think he'd be playing in the NBA. I don't think that, obviously he's not on the Raptors anymore. And that's a punishment in itself because he was really happy here and he was doing well with us. And then he got shipped to Sacramento. You think he wanted to do that? So, he's probably getting punished in a lot of ways. Yeah. Let's see. Lolita is saying, did you notice how fit the boys look? Wow. Yeah. I mean, specifically Scotty looks like he looks like a wrestler. He looks like he's got some wrestlers muscles and just like bulk. The thing about Scotty coming in was like his shoulders are telling me he's going to be a big, strong dude. That's one way you can judge somebody and how big they can grow if they're not fully developed in their body as an adult yet. Because Scotty's only 21 and he's going to grow and fill into his body as a man. And it's like a dog with its paws. You see a little puppy and you see how big their paws are. You can say, oh, he's going to be a big puppy. Well, I see shoulders. And when I saw Scotty's shoulders, like, this guy's got shoulders like Dwight Howard. So I was like, this is good because as he matures more and more and gets bigger, he's going to just add huge muscle. And it's already happening. It's crazy how quickly it's happening this summer. And he's going to be a force. Like, this is different. Like, there's a couple of things with him. His body's going to be stronger. He's going to be more intelligent to knowing the NBA game this year. And he's going to be more confident. And I have a real feeling that he's going to be a bully and he's going to dominate the NBA in some ways this year, that it's going to make people realize that this dude is OP and he is for real the rookie of the year and the best player from last year's draft. These clowns that are sullying him and slandering him, they're going to get a wake-up call real fast because he has got the right mix, a combination of things, physical genes and skills with his body, and then the aptitude and attitude in his head to soak all of the information from Nick Nurse and this coaching staff and the other teammates quickly and be just, oh my gosh, the potential is so crazy right now. And you're right. The other guys like Precious. I mean, Fred looks much better the way he's moving. Pascal has been described as electric by Nick Nurse this summer and stuff like that. They all look like they're in great shape. We see them putting in work. These guys are serious and stuff like that. In fact, I want to talk about something tomorrow on the Sunday report. And it's very interesting. There's been a couple of people that have been crying foul about the Raptors being at Rico Hines, that they have said we've broken NBA rules about organizing practices outside of the season. There is a violation that can happen, that the Minnesota Timberwolves were fined for this last offseason. We're going to talk about this tomorrow on the Sunday special report. Did the Raptors break any rules at Rico Hines by having their whole team there and their coaches there working all at the same time? You want to find out why or whether we did or not and why we didn't or whether we did? Tune in tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. We're going to talk about Rico Hines runs and whether they were legal. And if the Raptors can expect a fine down the road. I'm not trying to catch a fine for them or tattle on them. I will tell you the truth tomorrow so you can know exactly why, what happened, and what's going to happen with this and whether they are in trouble or not. All right, let's keep going. Fred saying Fred VanVleet seems to be slimmed down. Wonder if he dieted with Lowry. I don't know. I think that Fred, I sent him a message on one of his pictures on Instagram yesterday. Say, Fred, it looks like you're having such a blessed summer, balanced with family life and working hard. That's the thing. You see pictures of Fred on his Instagram with his kids doing fun things like going to the zoo, going to the beach, doing fun things, kid stuff with the kids. And then the other stuff is all in the gym. And it's like, you heard I'm a shooting guard now. Drake's song playing, Jimmy Crooks. And it's like, oh, you heard I'm a shooting guard. I didn't want to get pigeonholed. Yeah, that's what's going on with Fred. He's getting out of the pigeonhole to get to be a shooting guard for the season coming up because he knows he's not going to be the point guard for us fully. He will be a point guard at times, helping. He can get in that mode, but he should be more a shooting guard this year. So I love it. I love that Fred does look really fit. Looks like he's moving real well on his knee. And he didn't have to get surgery. That's really important. There's a couple guys we want to really look at, and hopefully they look really healthy for the beginning of the season. And that's Fred and Kem Birch. Kem had his surgery on his knee earlier, much after the playoffs. So he's been healing and getting healthier. But he won't be playing in Victoria on Thursday, but he will be there. But yeah, we got to see if Kem Birch will be ready for the season, and we want to see where Fred VanVleet is also. All those guys. I don't think any of them are really that hurt, other than maybe Justin Champagny. He seems to be the one that's the most hurt right now, and that's really too bad. And even Justin's made posts on Instagram saying setback, just come back harder kind of stuff. As that he knows he's in a bad place because this is not the time to be hurt. This summer was not a good time to be hurt for him in many ways. All right, let's see. You guys are making smiley faces. I like that. Monique's saying more footage of Fred VanVleet from his team Fly Guy Films. This is what Scotty wants. He wants a Fly Guy Films crew that follows him around just like Fred, but he won't be able to pay them until he gets his bag, is what he's saying. So eventually he's probably going to turn around to Max and say, Max, you know what? Come and full-time document my life and I can pay you finally. I can't pay you right now what you want to get paid to do it, but I'll bet you that's what happens. And it may be after his rookie contracts and stuff like that. I don't know. He needs a little more money, more subscriptions on Twitch so he can pay Max to follow him around just like the Fly Guy Films guys film Fred. And Pascal's got his own crew too that's always filming him and stuff like that for Red Bull stuff and different things that he's doing with his brand and stuff like that. That's what Scotty wants. He sees the older guys on his team and how they operate with their film crews and stuff like that. He's like, I want to get that someday too. That looks fun and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Denal's saying, that's why I respect you, Alexi. Most YouTubers are quick to slander and make snap judgment when none of us know all the facts. TD, Kurax, Jalen Harris, etc. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to poo-poo victim statements, and I do believe victims. I do believe that like women have been, subjugated to sexual assault in a lot of cases, and they haven't got any justice. So I don't want to say that I don't side with them. It's very important in the first place. Now, at the time when this stuff was happening with Terrence Davis, I was very much mad at him, and I was very much with the other people saying I don't want him on the team either. And stuff like that. But I didn't go to the extreme where I boycotted the Raptors like some people did that I knew. They were like, I'm not going to watch them while Terrence Davis is on the team, is what they were saying. I'm like, I can't do that. That's torture to me. But yeah, like the thing with Kurux is a similar thing to Terrence Davis in a lot of ways. We don't know if this is a pattern of behavior that has happened over and over again, like what Bridges has been doing, because his wife has said this has been going on for a long time, that he has been abusive towards her for a long time. This could be just an instance where some of these guys just lost their temper in the heat of a moment and did something really stupid, whether it's Kurax or Terrence Davis. And so we don't know the whole story. And it's real easy for the public opinion people to just come down hard and just cancel people so fast. And it's hurt these guys' career. Like I said, Terrence had to go to Sacramento. That hurt his career. Kurax has been out of the league for a couple years now, and he's trying to reclaim his thing. And Jalen Harris, listen, now he's a little bit different because it's a banned substance thing and stuff like that. And I don't totally believe him. I think that he does have some problems because I see him in interviews and he looks like he's high as a kite. Like, listen, he looks like he's on some shit sometimes when he's in interviews. And I don't know if that's just naturally how he is. If he just seems like a naturally high dude with glassy eyes and he's like, whoa. But yeah, he's the one that I don't believe the most out of those three in some ways. Yeah. So G saying people are still trying to say Scotty is 6'6", laughing out loud. Standing beside Pascal, he's the same height or slightly taller. Yeah, whatever. Listen, This is the kind of thing. It's like all from perspective. People in the States that are Kate Cunningham and Evan Mobley fans want to believe this guy is 6'2". You know, they want to believe he's as short and as inconsequential or not anything what he's going to be, like, as much as possible, because they want to be right. They want to be able to say, we were right. Scotty's a bust and Cade is the best player and he should have won Rookie of the Year. They want to be able to say this kind of shit. So this is part of how they're poo-pooing him. It's a really good example of what I'm talking about at the beginning of the stream, about how it's not really the NBA necessarily that's coming down on our guys. It's the fans and the media and their perception, whether it's from like one of these ESPN heads saying, yeah, I didn't see Scotty Barnes in the Rookie of the Year running, and now he's won. Wow, that really surprised me. It really shapes opinion, and it makes people think, oh, this guy maybe didn't deserve it and stuff like that. That's what they're doing. So they'll do it in any kind of way to slight him. And that's fine. There's reality, and then there's what they want to perceive. And they're going to find out. They're going to find out real quick how tall he is for real. And that, like, no, this man's not 6'6". You want to go ahead and believe he's 6'6"? Well, then you have your facts wrong, and you're going to get a rude awakening when he shows up and he's messing you up and bullying your guys around the basket and making Kawhi like little hooks and little jump floaters and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. He's 6'10". He's 6'10", and he may be 7 foot by this time next year. We don't, that could be very much a reality there. Let's see, Tom. Lolita's saying that Tom Duke, Fred VanVleet, and Lowry both look good. Yeah, Lowry listened to Pat Riley, and he's like, yeah, okay, this is Pat Riley. He's a legend. This is a man who has a lot of rings for the Lakers. He's been around the NBA forever as a player, as a coach, as a GM, as a team president, as an announcer. He was on broadcasting for a while. Pat Riley used to do the games and stuff like that. So he's been in every kind of job you can have in the NBA. And he knows his shit. So it's like Kyle could have been like old Kyle and said, I hate Kevin McHale. I hate Pat Riley. These old fuckers don't know me. They don't know what they're talking about. No, he listened to Pat Riley. He respected him. He said, okay, Pat Riley wants me to get into the parameters of what Miami Heat players are supposed to have for body fat. Well, I'll take that challenge and I'll go ahead and do it. And that's what Kyle has been doing. That's the new Kyle. That's not the new Kyle, but that's the Kyle, the mature Kyle, the Kyle that changed in 2013 when Masai Ujiri came here and challenged him to grow up and be a better pro. And that's who he is right now. It's really good. It's really, really good. Monique saying, Rico Hines, basketball fines, shaking my head, silliness. There are other fan nations in the NBA right now calling out for us to get fined. In particular, the Minnesota Timberwolves, because they got fined for this last year. I'm going to explain all this. I don't want to talk about this too much because this is my content for tomorrow, but it's going to be a very interesting Sunday report tomorrow about this, distinguishing what is illegal and what isn't in the offseason for teams practicing, and why maybe or may not the Raptors being all at Rico Hines and what they did this summer is illegal or not illegal, and what made it illegal or what didn't make it illegal. We'll find out tomorrow. I want to keep it ambiguous so there's a little bit of a cliffhanger so that you can come and see what I have to say about this, because I really went deep on this yesterday. And I researched the hell out of this because I heard these people saying the Raptors need to be fined for what they did at Rico Hines. And I'm like, well, could we be? I want to know. I want to cover our ass. And, well, I found out the truth. And I'll tell you all the reasons why or why not we're not going to get fined for that. So Tom Duke's saying, right on, Mo, shaking my head with you. Wow, I want to know if the Raps are getting in trouble. Well, definitely stay tuned. Nail biter. There you go, Tom Duke. That's right. I got to give a little cliffhanger, something to keep you guys on the hook and want to keep tuning in. So Sunday special report, Rico Hines runs illegal. They might be. Minnesota got fined big time last year for what they did. And we'll have to see why it's different. And maybe we aren't in trouble. Ha ha! All right, Tom Duke saying the only drama around our organization. Laugh out loud. Yeah, there you go. Denal saying Lex can't drop the bomb on us and leave us hanging. Listen, I don't do this to y'all too much. I mean, I could just go ahead and shoot my shot, but I have to have content tomorrow. We're in the middle of August, y'all. It's so hard to manufacture subjects and figure out what we should be talking about. And this one was one that I think I could be original in doing because I don't think anybody else around Raptors content has thought about this or is going to talk about this. So I'm going to be on it and make something that nobody else is probably going to make. None of them. Raptors Digest, Luca, Raptors Republic. Nobody's on the case on this one. But I am the Raptor freak. And I'll let you guys know exactly why Minnesota got in trouble last year and why we may get in trouble also. All right, let's see. All right. Monique's saying, drop your prediction for Malachi tonight. All right. Let's talk about both of them just real quick. And Malachi, listen, he got 73 in Seattle. He got 54 in Drew League. I want him to get a 50 piece at least. It's like he has to. Malachi has to at least get a 50 piece tonight at Maple Leaf Gardens because I will be disappointed if he doesn't get to that. So I want him to get at least 50 and be really, really selfish. And maybe Scotty can play more point guard and set him up. Like, this is the thing. Scotty in these kind of games is not going for big scores. In fact, he seems like he's going for more all around because he's getting triple doubles in these games a lot. Like, he's going for 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and then double digits in points. And usually the points are somewhere in the 30s. So if Scotty gets like 34 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists, and Malachi gets like 50 to 55 points, and he gets a lot of assists from Scotty, that could be really cool. That's the kind of thing I kind of want to see today. I just know that they're going to be very entertaining. And if Scotty's going to be pulling off fun little dunks in the middle of the game or doing fun things and stuff like that, I really wish I was going at this point. I really dropped the ball, but it is what it is. There's only 900 seats, and everybody was smart enough to get a ticket already. You get a great, great treat because Big Four is going to be there tonight, throwing it down for you guys. And that's so awesome. Oh man, I wish I could get in there somehow, some way. Maybe I should go down there and buy a ticket off a scalper. There might be some people down there. I maybe should call Marco. Marco might be able to help me out. I don't know. Let's see. Denial that he gets sent home. Laugh out loud. You think that Malachi's going to get sent home tonight? I don't think so. I think Malachi's going to do really well. And it's in Toronto. This will be fun, having Raptors and doing the Pro-Am here. Tom Duke saying at Denial, Mal's going to put Tatum on skates and 5 steals off LeBron. Now, Tom, you do know they're in different places. That this game is here in Toronto, and the one that LeBron and Tatum is at is in Seattle. So there's 2 different Pro-Am games going on tonight. They're both done by crossover, but one's in Seattle at Jordan Crawford's place, and that's where all the big names are going to be. The only guys who are going to be here in Toronto are Malachi, Scotty Barnes, Xavier Moon, Terrence Davis Jr. Those guys are here in Toronto. Meanwhile, Chet and Paulo and all those guys are over there. So there's separate games. But yeah, I'd love to see them going against those guys. That would be crazy if LeBron and Tatum were also at the Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. That's a huge draw. People would be like banging on the door to get in if LeBron was here, just like they're doing in Seattle. Denal saying only because he's so tiny, they can't see him. He's cracking on Malachi. Listen, I really am like wanting Malachi to be one of these comeback stories this year. I really want him to show some stuff and be a badass this year because there's a couple of reasons why. I want it for Malachi as a person because I care about him. He's a Raptor. He's been a Raptor for 3 years now. It'll be his 3rd year coming up. And I want him to succeed. I want all the Raptors to succeed. And I also want Masai to succeed, that he's chosen this guy. He has picked him out of all the guys in the draft. He said, I want Malachi Flynn. And he's riding him, a bet on him. And that I want Masai Ujiri's bet to pay off. So it's that kind of thing. I want Masai to look good. I want Malachi to look good. I want the Raptors to look good. So I want Malachi to kick ass. And it's hopefully all this stuff this summer and these Pro-Am games translates to real success in the NBA regular season this year and stuff like that. So yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. Tom Duke is okay. Lolita's saying, I laughed so hard when I saw LeBron's aged picture. Yeah, there's some weird pictures with the stars all bald and like looking like there's a Steph Curry bald picture. These are kind of funny. Like I like the one that came out last year of Scotty where he has a beard and he has like no hair and it's like Scotty in like age 34 and he's got like 8 championships and he's still in the Raptors and he's like been MVP like so many times. It's like a flash forward to the future. Old Scotty near the end of his career, how many championships he's had, how many MVPs, and he's still on the Raptors. And he's got this badass beard and no hair. I love that picture. You guys know the one I'm talking about. If you're a Raptors fan, you've seen it in the last year, and it's hilarious when the picture of future Scotty. All right, let's keep going. Here, it's all right, Tom. Listen, everything. I get confused on stuff all the time and stuff like that. Denal saying they're skating all the way to Seattle, Lex. Super AI crossover. That would be crazy. What if they had some sort of weird Rick and Morty time portal that they like do like a Pac-Man run through the side of the board and you come out on the other side of the board in Seattle. Like that would be so weird. Like think about the future of the NBA. If we're gonna have automated refs and them deciding everything so there's no human error, why can't we have like portals in NBA games where there's different playing levels? Maybe like the way they play chess on Star Trek is like all of a sudden there's a portal in the court and you run into it, and then all of a sudden you're playing in Seattle on their court and do and stuff like that. I don't know. That's crazy. Maybe I need to be working with Adam Silver to innovate the game even further into some really interesting places and stuff like that. That would be really crazy. That super AI crossover. I love that idea, Denial. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying, I'm here to be informed. You are in the right place, Tom Duke. Maybe a little informed and entertained, whatever. I had so much fun yesterday doing this silliness and stuff like that. When I watch my stream back, I always do this. I watch the stream after I do it at fast speed. If you're watching me and it's not live, watch me at 1.5 speed. You can understand everything I'm saying and it goes by a lot faster, but you get everything still. But it's so fun watching me back. And when I watch myself and I actually laugh at myself, I know you guys are probably laughing too. And there were a couple things I did yesterday that were pretty funny that I really, when I look back, like some of the phone call stuff I did with a random gamer was hilarious yesterday. And it was really funny. I enjoyed that. Monique saying, how awesome is it to John Lee at Rico Hines? Never seen that before in the past. Look, you may be talking about why we're in trouble, Monique. Right there, what you just said. John Lee was at Rico Hines. That is not good. Listen, that means I'll tell you guys tomorrow. In fact, maybe I should stop now before I tell you too much about this and so like, yeah, John Lee being there may not have been good. Let's just put it that way, Monique. That might have gotten us in trouble. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here with me. Share the Love Club, Adam Silver. That's right. We're going all the way to the top, and we're thanking the grand poobah of the NBA, the commissioner, the guy who's not afraid to be a woke commissioner and do things with the NBA that is powerful. He's wielding the NBA as a political weapon, and I love it. I'm so here for it because he's on the right side of history. And this is the thing. If they get more people to vote in this midterm this fall, because they didn't have NBA games and they opened all the arenas as polling places to make it easier for people in big cities and places and parts of town where people have a hard time getting the polling place, kudos to the NBA. Get that voter turnout up because in some ways you may have helped Biden beat Trump in that last election. And that was so crucial and so important. I want y'all to understand, if you are an American watching my channel right now, don't treat this midterm any less important than that last election, Trump versus Biden. That this is maybe even more important to show up because some of y'all won't take the main event matchup and say, well, I don't really care this time. Well, you need to, especially this year, because this midterm election this year is going to really change and shape the U.S. in two different directions. You're either going to go the way that the Trump people want to go, which is more and more fascism, more and more control over your life, anti-freedom, anti-all kinds of things, really bad. Or you go the way, and you got to vote blue and go the way of that way and fight these crazy, crazy people. Like, look at the person that just beat Liz Cheney in Wyoming. Look at her picture. She is a nurse. She looks like a psychopath. She looks like somebody you don't want to even have as a neighbor next door to you. And that's what I'm saying. So this is the thing. We got to show up en masse, just like we did for Biden this fall. And don't, just because there's no big marquee matchup as Biden versus Trump and getting you excited to do this, you need to go do it no matter what. Just vote, please, and take the direction from the NBA and Adam Silver. And they're going to be helping us to get there to vote, hopefully, and stuff like that. Yeah, kudos to Adam Silver, who had the balls to get the Donald Sterling out of the league, to do things like put Black Lives Matter all over the league for a while during that whole movement and stuff like that. That was ballsy and gutsy, and I have respect for you because of that. So thank you, Adam Silver, for being the commissioner of the NBA. You're doing a good job, and I look forward to seeing the innovations that you continue to do to the game, and hopefully gets better and better. I think the plan's a huge success, and I think that you guys were really smart how you did it. And once again, steering the ship for the NBA through the whole course of the pandemic, you did a really, really good job. The fact that we are back on our regular schedule for the year is really good, that you planned it and shifted it all around the right way so that we didn't miss a beat. We didn't lose a single season. That's insane considering how shut down we were for 2 years. So that is a fantastic job, Adam Silver. So kudos, Adam Silver. Share the love club. Let's W Adam Silver in the chat, y'all, just like Scotty would say. All right, get out there, touch grass, share love. That's what Scotty would want you to do. If you're lucky to be going to Maple Leaf Gardens tonight to see Scotty Barnes play with Malachi Flynn, oh man, I'm so jealous. Have a great day, y'all. Be back tomorrow. Sunday report. It's a good one. You guys are going to enjoy it. That Sunday report tomorrow is going to be very fun to talk about and interesting. I've really gotten to all the facts and the details of this subject, so I can tell you exactly what the difference is between violating the rules and what isn't, and why or why not the Raptors did violate the rules, guys. All right. W. Isaac Campbell. I did get the package here. Let me show you.